In Podcast.
Hello and welcome to our first ever English episode.
I'm so thrilled. This is so
Yes.
cool.
I'm a little bit nervous, but it's okay.
It's okay, yeah. And presumably you're all going to be somewhere around the world. So I'm just going to say we're not the best in speaking English, but we're going to try. And I think it's going to go well.
Yes. If nothing else, we're going to speak rally English,
Yes.
which is understandable, maybe
Yeah.
not so pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
But first, I think it's time to introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
So, would you like to begin?
Yeah. So my name is Kaapo. I'm a 20-year-old coach from Finland. I've been coaching for 7 years, I think. And yeah, I've been in code teams and now I coach junior advanced team and I'm also an assistant coach in junior co-ed.
Yeah. And I'm Elina. I've been coaching for over 10 years now. And before that, I used to cheer myself. I was cheering for like 9 years. And then I quit and began only coaching.
Yeah.
And outside of cheerleading, I'm a daycare professional. And what do you do, Kaapo?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I study Finnish literature and then also politics and communications. So I'm a student and you're a full-time daycare worker.
Yeah.
And yeah, about this hit podcast, we started this almost 2 years ago.
Almost.
I think it started on the idea that we wanted to bring something to the Finnish cheerleading society, something new, some ideas, because we love to talk about cheerleading.
Oh yeah, we just go on and on.
Yeah, long conversations and it's a lot. So we thought that maybe we could, record the conversations that we had.
Yeah, and that's actually the style we have in our podcast, that
Yeah.
we can just like chat and then we record it
Yeah.
and publish
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So this is not very
I think it's not like
strict or professional
yeah,
or
structured
anything.
or anything like that.
Yeah, it's more of like casual conversation.
Yeah. So now you can start vacuuming or cleaning or stuff like that and just like hear us talk on the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, our first ever English episode is going to be about the Nordic Championships that were held almost 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
In Helsingborg, Sweden. I attended the competition as a coach and you were a spectator through the live stream.
This was actually like, it usually when we are doing this kind of competition episodes, usually it's like I've been in the competition and Kaapo has been a spectator.
Yeah.
So now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
This is nice.
Yeah.
And the Nordics were back from like, was it like 10 years?
Yeah, I think it's like they took a 10-year break from.
Yeah.
I think.
I think it's awesome that the Nordics are back.
Yeah.
Because it's an amazing opportunity to compete with the amazing another Nordic teams.
Yeah.
Because all the Nordic countries are top notch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think before the Nordics quit, it was like 2013, 2014 or something like that. I think the Nordic teams weren't as good at that time, but throughout the years, especially Nordic countries have pushed the level, have pushed the boundaries, have gained incredible success.
Yeah, and we've seen it, and we've seen the success, in Europeans, of course, and also in World Championships.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm watching the Worlds, and of course I hope that Suomi is doing well, but if it's not Suomi, then I hope that it's another Nordic country.
Yeah. And I think like to have this competition nowadays is so important because like in many divisions, the Nordic countries are just the best. They just are the best out there.
True.
So the teams can have, they can warm up before, Worlds and Europeans, and this like the first touch of the season to other Nordic teams. So it's incredible, and I'm excited.
Yeah, and this is we've talked in our Finnish episodes that this is quite early in our Finnish competition calendar.
Yeah.
So it's just the beginning of our comp season.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see very good routines.
Yeah.
Even though it's so early in the season.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. But yeah, a little bit about the journey or the trip that we had. My team and quite literally any Finnish team almost, we flew to Copenhagen from Helsinki, and then we took a bus from Copenhagen to Helsingborg.
And you had your own bus, right?
Yeah, own bus, charter bus. So that was the route we chose, and I think a lot of Nordic teams also did that, especially from Denmark, I think, because it's easy to go from Copenhagen to Helsingborg. But yeah, so we took that, and then we stayed. I'm not quite sure how Helsingborg works, but like we stayed at Scandic Oceanhamnen, which was like quite in the center, I think, but I'm not that sure. But yeah, we stayed there, and there was a lot of teams in that area as well. In our hotel, but also in the nearby areas, and it was quite nice.
So did it feel like there was like cheer teams everywhere?
Yeah, quite essentially. And the funniest thing that I actually said to Elina after the trip was that there was like this nearby Coop shop, like a boutique, and we went there, and there was just like cheer teams all over the shop, like and the employees. I could just sense that they were so tired and they were like so overwhelmed, because that was essentially the shop that the cheer teams went, and there was like cheerleaders all the time in and out, and it was like crazy.
And of course everyone wanted the same snacks and everything.
Yeah, same energy drinks and stuff like that, and yeah, it was crazy. And in Helsingborg, I'm not sure, is it a big city or how does it work, but there was a lot of like feelings in the atmosphere. Like there was like Nordic Championship posters in the city.
Oh, cool.
So almost in every corner there was like a Nordic Championships poster, and there was just like cheerleaders everywhere, and it was quite crowded at sometimes. So it was nice.
So must have felt like a real big sport event.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm not
I
sure.
think it was.
Yeah,
sure.
It was. I think like the locals were quite baffled at what is happening in here in our city. What is going on? But yeah, it was quite nice. And the Helsingborg arena was quite close to the city center. So
how did you go there?
We chose public transport the most days.
Okay.
So only when we had our competition day, we had a charter bus, but every other day we took public transportation, and it was like, I don't know, 2
and
to
did
3.
did you get by like one bus?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so close. It was like, I don't know, 2 to 3 stops from because we left from the center of Helsingborg, so it was like the terminus, and it was like 2 to 3 stops from the terminus to the arena. So essentially nothing. We could have walked as well, but we chose not to.
So you'd say that Helsingborg was, all in all, it was a good place.
Yeah, it was
for the competition.
It was good. It was clean. The public transport worked. It was. I'm not sure. Well, it was cheaper than in Finland. It was cheaper,
nice.
So that was nice. And overall, I think because like the distances were not too far stretched, so it was like a cheer town for a while.
Yeah, and did you have like pre-comp training?
Yeah. So we left for Nordics on Thursday, and we arrived on Thursday night. On Friday, we first went shopping. I don't remember what was the shopping center, but yeah, we went shopping, and after that we went to the arena. We did our registration, which was quite strict. So usually in Finland, in basically when you go to registration, the coaches go there and they just say, hey, Funk Team Industries is here, and they give you everything you need.
Envelope, yeah.
Yeah, envelope and stuff like that. But when we went to registration, we had to show each and every ID for every athlete we needed to show.
Okay.
Yeah. We actually had to organize them to alphabetical order. So we had like 32 passports.
Amazing.
Yeah, then we were sorting it out and we went there and
But you did not have the athletes with you?
no.
Oh, so only the passport part?
Yeah.
Okay.
The athletes were actually changing their clothes for the practice. But yeah, we went there, showed the IDs, and then coaches and entourage needed to show ID and then criminal background record statement, whatever it is. And then we had to complete this safeguarding course, which was online.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had to show that we have done the course. And yeah,
Okay.
it took a little bit of time, but we managed to do that, and it went smoothly. And then we went to practice to the arena.
It's not usually it has not usually been that strict.
Yeah.
Even in Europeans.
Yeah. I think it's like, you know, as much as I think like Swedish Cheerleading Federation, I think they are so strict, and I think it's refreshing for a while, because usually clubs require their own coaches and entourage to show criminal background records. But, you know, why not? It's not that much of a work to get it printed out and stuff like that.
And creating a safe environment.
Yeah.
So that's good.
But yeah, so after registration, we went to, it was actually one of the warm-up halls, and there were two mats, and then we had practice with our club's youth advanced team. So we practiced together, we just showed off our routines and warmed up our skills.
You had a whole mat for
whole
like
mat.
an hour?
Yeah, an hour. It was an hour slot. I think some teams did over an hour. So some teams really booked longer time periods, but we chose to do an hour slot because it was enough for us. And yeah, so we just basically, it wasn't much of a practice. It was more like a show off and, you know,
hyping.
Yeah, get the nerves out of the system and, you know,
that's the best.
Be relaxed and stuff like that. Practice went great, and then we had the chance to check out the arena.
Oh, that's nice.
So we walked the route the athletes took before they go to the mat. So we walked from the warm-up hall to behind the mat, and then from the corner to the mat, like how it looks, how it feels, and the arena was quite ready on Friday, so nothing really changed on Friday. So
that's a nice opportunity.
Yeah, that's really nice. I think like in Finnish competitions, we rarely get to see the arena before competition.
Yeah,
so
and
it was nice.
That's usually why, because the the arena always gets ready.
Yeah, like, in the morning, basically. Yeah. So it was nice. It was nice to see the arena and you know, to have the opportunity to ask about the music and how the coaches behave on the front of the mat.
Do
and
we
stuff
need to
like
sit
that.
or?
Yeah.
How was it? Did you need to sit down?
Well, the guideline, basically we should have sit, but on the days no one was watching, and because there was no judges behind it, basically everyone was jumping. So we should have sit. We had chairs, but
it's the best when you have an opportunity to just like move around and jump.
Yeah.
Because I find it the worst to sit down and just be still.
Yeah. And well, actually, I think we can just move on to the competition days.
Yeah.
My team competed only on Sunday, so one day. Some teams had like 2-day competition, but
basically the in the same divisions than that did like
Nordic Championship categories. Yeah.
And now I'm wondering if my mic is off or if I'm just moving my head.
I don't know. I think it.
I think I just might move my head around.
Yeah.
So I'll try to do better.
Yeah. But yeah, so on Saturday we went to watch the competition. The arena it was actually not that big. I think it was like a decent size arena.
But was it like it looked like from some videos it looked like there was some steep.
Yeah, it was a steep arena. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Some of the when we went on there on Saturday, first we went to I think the highest rows. So it was like really steep and really high and really far away. So potentially it could have fit easily like I don't know thousands of people. But yeah, it was a nice arena. And the fun fact was when we watched it from so high, we could just see that some photographers, because judges were like pretty far away from the mat.
Yeah.
So there was like this, I don't know, 8 meters of
Okay.
space. So some photographers were just laying there on their bellies and taking photos. And we were so confused. We were like, what are you doing there? But, some photographers were there. They were just laying on the floor, taking photos of the teams, while the coaches and other entourage were on the side. Yeah, and it was weird. And on the first day, we actually noticed some difficulties in the competition because in most competitions, or actually, I don't know, is it in Europeans as well, but the one who's in charge of the music has to play it from their own device.
Oh yeah, in Europeans.
Okay.
I usually play it from my own device.
Okay, yeah. So they had to play it from their own device. And there was some music issues, a lot of issues
I
on
noticed
the first day.
when I was watching.
Yeah.
And some of them lasted quite long.
Yeah, literally. And it was, I don't know, quite painful to watch almost, because you just know how stressful it is to play the music and for the athletes to wait on the mat, wait for the music to start.
Oh yeah, and if the time seems a long time for me as a spectator,
Yeah.
I can only imagine how long the time feels when you're on the mat on your starting position and waiting for the music to go.
Yeah. And so some teams, I don't remember, I think none of the routines were cut off, but just so many routines, the music started for so low, and they just raised it gradually, the music.
True.
But yeah, there was a lot of technical issues, and it was just on the fact that there were so many phones plugged into the device, and some phones, when you plug an aux cable to your phone, the volume goes a bit down.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
some
true.
people didn't know that, so they just press play, and stuff happens. So it was a bit stressful, but they gladly the organizers did send a message out to teams that hey, make sure to put the music on full volume after you've put the aux cable in, so there won't be any issues. So yeah.
By the way, did you have an WhatsApp group for coaches?
Yeah, we had. It was not a group. It was society, or in WhatsApp you have groups, and then you have the other option. It was
okay.
In Finland,
but so
Finnish is
you had
yhteisö.
some way for the competition organizers to send out messages.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. So it worked, and they they were on top of their game. So it's glad that they were aware, and they alerted the contestants that make sure to put the volume out and stuff like that.
Was there something else?
Yeah, I was actually just getting into that. I don't know, did Europeans have spotters behind the mat?
Nope.
Okay, because
I mean, at least the years that I've been.
Yeah.
Nope.
So I don't know why, but Swedish Chilling Federation had organized their own spotters behind the mat. And there was 6 of them, I think. And, usually if there are spotters in the competition, they look very aware, and they usually know what the sport is like and how the routines are built. But with all my best hearts, I say it's the spotters they were not mentally there. They were stumbling on the mat. They almost got hit by the athletes. They had to run out of the athlete's way, and we were just watching it was like watching a bad comedy show, to be honest. I was like, what is going on in here? Because like the spotters they were like average looking people and nothing like that, but they just, I feel like they were first time ever watching a cheer competition. It just felt like that. So it was stressful, and there was a few times when we actually changed. We watched like first few teams from very high above, and then we changed to other side of the arena so we could see the routines from the side. And there was like lots of moments where the athletes had to push the spotters away.
Oh no.
During the
That's
routine.
bad.
And that's when I was like, oh no, this can't be happening. So this is not okay. So I had to send a message to the organizers saying that, hey, I understand you maybe have the need to have spotters because they are essentially making sure that everyone's okay and there's not going to be any injuries and stuff like that. But I was like, they can do that maybe a bit differently because they were like literally almost under the athletes. It was just like, it was a chaos to say the least. So it was stressful, and I've been in many competitions as an athlete, as a coach, and never have I ever have had that kind of situation where the athletes and coaches are stressed about the spotters, the ones who should be like assuring that everything is going okay, and we felt stressed. We were like, what if they get under our athletes? What if our athletes were trip on them? And yeah. Did you see anything on the stream?
Yes, I remember that we were watching with our friend.
Yeah.
That we were watching also that, oh no, what's the spotter doing there? What is he still doing there?
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we noticed.
Yeah, and I actually did a little background check. I think they were there because Sweden has the like Nationals Week there, where group stunts are competing.
Oh yeah.
So it's like this new concept of like multi-sport event, like multinationals, many sports teams competing there, and they had the group stunts competing there. So those were the same spotters that were spotting the group stunts, but as we all know, it's
group
different.
stunts very different.
Yeah, because in group stunts you literally do stunts all the time. But in team routines, there's going to be tumbling, tosses, pyramids, stunts, and everything. And,
Yeah, and also you don't move around the mats.
Yeah.
When you're in a group stunt.
Yeah. So I think that was the issue. I think the spotters didn't quite know where they were. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I'm speculating and stuff like that.
Oh, can you imagine if you were stressed out for the spotters? How can you imagine how the spotters must have felt all the weekend?
Yeah. I can only imagine. And
no.
so this was like to put it in a short, or like to summarize it up, I think the cons of the competition were the music issues and the spotters, and those were the two major factors that stressed our athletes in the competition. They had to stress and witness that so many teams had music issues. So of course they were stressed out that what if that happens to us? What if it's us gonna be on the mat with the issues? So they were stressed, and then they were stressed about the spotters. Do we go into day 2? Do you wanna say anything about day 1?
Nope. The stream was pretty nice to watch.
Yeah.
And the stream worked pretty well.
Yeah. And on day 1, on Saturday, there was of course, the Nordic Championship divisions. So youth advanced, junior co-ed, junior all-girl elite, senior co-ed, senior all-girl, and then dance pumps.
Yeah.
Junior pom, yeah. But on day 1, they had youth intermediate, youth median.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
senior lower levels. I liked senior, intermediate, and median, and I think advanced as well. I don't remember. There were so many divisions.
Yeah, and then there were the klassikot in Finnish.
It was masters.
Masters.
Yeah. overall, yeah, but Saturday, there was a lot of great routines, especially in the lower levels. I was like,
Oh yeah.
I was especially wowed by, almost every Swedish team. They were
Yes,
so
Swedish
good.
teams, especially in lower levels,
Yeah,
they're so the routines have been finalized
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's choreograph and
Yeah.
everyone's in sync.
yeah.
I just adored it.
Yeah, yeah, it was like amazing. I think one of the biggest wow factors were when there was like Masters median division. So Masters is like I think 18 and above. So you need to be
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's 18 or
18 or
even
19
20.
or 20.
Yeah.
Basically like parents and retired athletes to say. And they had like Masters median team from Sweden, from GCO. And usually the Masters teams they're good.
The Masters teams, in my opinion, usually are cute.
They're cute, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's cute to watch. But the GCO's Masters team, I was like, what is going on in here? They were so good. They like a Masters team doing almost maximum skills in level 3. I was like,
Wow.
because I'm
That's
not used to
amazing.
that. Masters divisions in Finland, they are not that big of a thing. And they are in Finland. We only have Masters Intermediate, so we
Yeah,
don't
we
have
only have-
we don't have median divisions. So I was like wowed. I almost fell from my chair. I was like, what is going on here? They're Masters team and they are doing so amazingly hard skills. Sometimes even harder skills than senior median teams. So
Cool.
yeah, so it was great. But yeah, on to day 2. Our team, I coach junior advanced team, Indris. So junior advanced categories were not the first ones of the day, but early.
The first ones of the day were, I think they were the group stunts
Yeah.
and partner stunts.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we had to wake up quite early. Not that early, because when we were in Europeans 2022, that was early.
That was bad.
That was bad.
It's the one time we always get back to when
Yeah.
reminiscing something.
Yeah,
We say that it was early, but not that early.
not that early as in Athens 2022. That was bad.
We woke up at 5.
Yeah, at 5, it was, oh my god, it was crazy. But yeah, in Nordics, we had to wake up at 6:30, I think, and then we just ate breakfast, got ready, and then we headed to the arena. And basically, in Nordics, the warm-up system was that we first, I'm trying to remember, because it was all, it went so fast, so I'm trying to remember what did we even do. We went to the arena, then we walked to like this general warm-up room.
Okay.
It was like a small room, a conference room, so it was very low, the ceilings were low. So we just did warm-ups there, so we did a dance and stuff like that,
Get your body warm.
getting body warm. And after that, the athletes needed to show the IDs once again. so
Of course.
now they had the athlete like passes, or like, what is it called?
Is it like
Lanyards. Is lanyard?
I don't know. I would have said like something like a competition passport.
Yeah. Well, essentially that. So they had the lanyards / competition passports and then IDs, and showed them both, and then we cleared off. So we first went to locker rooms, and we did we danced, and we had music, and get the hype on and stuff like that. And then we went to first warm-up hall, and it was quite weird because the Helsingborg arena is not that big, so we actually had to go to the warm-up hall through other locker rooms. So it was like there wasn't there wasn't like a straight forward like hallway. We had to go from a locker room to other locker room to the warm-up hall. So it was like quite weird. I don't know.
Wow.
But on the first warm-up hall, we had like no music. So we just did, our skills.
But did you have like the whole mat?
No, there was only, I think, 3 mats
Oh, okay.
to use. So we just did our stunts, basket tosses, pyramids, and that was that. It was like 8 minutes or something like that. So it was fast paced, but we managed. We had practices how to warm up in the competition, so it was nothing much. And then we went to the other warm up hall where we actually had practiced before, and then we had like the big mat, full mat, and it was like also 8 minutes. It was 4 minutes without music and 4 minutes with music. So it was
okay.
last touches, and then we warmed up our cheer and did one last music round. Essentially no skills, but yeah. And from the last warm-up, we walked behind the mat. And now this is where stuff got a little heated, I think. When we went to wait to compete, we had to wait in like this, I think, like storage room, or like there was, stuff stored in there. And we had to wait in a spot where we could actually see teams coming from the mat. And,
What?
Yeah, so when we
So
went there...
so there's the same room where you go to compete and where you come when you compete.
Basically, it was like
Oh my.
for a while we had to, wait there. We were trying to get in our zone, get really zoned in and on the feeling that we're going to compete soon. And then all of a sudden there's just like screaming, shouting athletes coming from the mat because they did great on the mat, which is not their fault, of course not. But I was like, what is going on in here? Like, do they literally come from there? And so I think that messed up our athletes a bit mentally, because you're trying to get in your zone and then you hear other teams hitting their routines coming from the mat, being all happy about it. So it was quite stressful. But then we moved a bit far away from that spot to wait, and after that they opened like these huge doors, and then we go into the dark behind the mats. You could hear the music and your heart is pounding and stuff like that. And essentially you just wait there for one routine, and because the schedule was so tight, it was basically you go there, and after the last previous team's music stops, you basically get ready and you're gonna be on the mat next. So there's not like, you don't have to wait. It was just like,
okay.
Team out, team in, team out, team in. It was like at that pace. Yeah, basically.
True, I noticed when we were watching.
And so as coaches, we were a bit stressed because, when the music stopped, first like the coaches, entourage, and alternates have to go first to in front of the mat, and then they announce the team to go on the mat. So of course I was like a bit stressed, how are the athletes doing? They have to wait, not that long, but yeah. So we went there, and then they announced the team, and they came to the mat. And as a coach, you can sense if something is off.
Yeah.
You can just like...
You can.
The athletes so well, so I could sense that something was off, but I was so stressed about the music because I had to play the music. So I was in charge of the music. So at that time, I just didn't have time to focus on the team. I was just like waiting with the music. I was like, okay, now it's cheer. Okay, yeah. Now the cheer went great. We did a damn good cheer. And then I was like all stressed. I was like, okay, they're getting on the spots and waiting. And now that there's the 20 seconds rule, like they're very strict about the time.
Yeah.
So I was also in charge that they didn't go overtime. So I just hit press play. I had two phones like next to each other. If one phone doesn't work, I'm just gonna automatically click other phone. But yeah, I clicked on the music on, and then I went to watch the routine, and then you could sense that something was off. Did you see something? Or did you notice anything when the team came? Because you have coached the team as well.
Well, I did not in the cheer section.
Yeah.
The cheer section was very nice.
Yeah.
And the team looked sharp, good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of from the first stunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though it was through the screen.
Yeah.
It was the stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well...
And sometimes stuff like that happens in a big competition.
Yeah. Basically,
when
to summarize,
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, like our team did not do great. That's like the fact. they were stressed, they were, their minds were messed up because, they had to stress about the music, the spotters, the everything going around them.
And that was also the first time that the team was on a mat together,
yeah,
right?
on the mat together, also competing international competitions, and it was like quite early on the day, so there was not a lot of spectators watching our routine.
Oh, okay.
So, it was like, I was screaming so loud, I didn't hear, but some of the athletes said that, it was quite eerie because like they were trying to like cheer, but no one cheered with them.
No.
That's how they felt.
That's not a nice feeling.
Yeah. So yeah, our routine was not that great, but we managed and we watched the routine, and there was a lot of like good sections on the routine. And after our routine, basically my Sunday was like over, or like I had to just focus on myself and getting my nerves off, and because when you're a coach, it's stressful for you as well, because you're gonna like mentally prepare the athletes for everything, but then you need to prepare because you have done a lot of work for the team and stuff like that. But yeah, that's our competition day. But overall, talking about the Nordics, because I know when you listen to this episode, you're not interested only about my team. So I think we could talk
we all
overall.
wanted to hear only about Kaapo's team.
Yeah, but it was like, overall, like Nordics, they were great. Like there was a lot of great routines. And as you mentioned, in Finland, our nationals are in June.
Yeah,
so very late
away
on the season. Very close to Europeans, but very far away from Nordics. So from our perspective, it was quite early time to compete in such high.
It was really early in our perspective because we had some of these competitions in December.
Yeah.
A few. They are called start.
Yeah.
Literally starting the comp season. But the second start competitions we only had after the Nordics. Mm-hmm. So for us, it's really early.
Yeah. And in Finland, we generally compete later because I think a lot of Finnish teams want to use the whole fall season to really nail the technique.
Yeah.
To really practice and getting closer as a team. And then in other Nordic countries, they maybe focus on competing earlier because, there's NALC, like Nordic All-Level Championships, and then there's like competitions in Norway, and I think in Denmark also. So maybe some teams are used to competing early.
Yeah, and of course, then we have like Norwegians.
Yeah.
Are like soon.
Yeah.
I think,
next month.
And then there's also the Sweden's.
Yeah, Swedish nationals are... Yeah, because I actually... Yeah, we looked into this. I think Norwegian nationals are on...
March.
Swedish are in April, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Honestly, I don't remember.
And I think Danish nationals are on May.
Are they on May? Yeah, maybe.
And then Finnish nationals are in June.
Yeah.
so they go, like, periodically go, like,
further. And we were wondering about the Nordics earlier, and why are the Nordics so early? And then we were, like, watching when is everyone's nationals, and then we were like, well,
makes sense.
This is actually the only opportunity to have this.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think there was one Finnish senior team, like in Senior Auger Premier competing.
Yeah, Senior Auger Premier.
PCT Lightnings, I think. Yeah.
Oh, no, two.
Two.
Angels
as well. Oh yeah, I forgot. But they were like maybe focusing more on like getting the basic technique, and the routine is not at the highest difficulty yet. But when I I watched the Norwegian teams and Swedish teams, and I was like, it's January and you're doing so hard skills, like especially NRC senior co-ed. Mind blown in like many ways, and it was only January, and now it's only changing to March, and you're basically hitting your Europeans routine already. It was crazy. and also in Olger Premier Division, GCO Wildcats, and then Vikings Spirit. I was like, what is going on in here? It's January and you're rocking your routines at this time.
Yeah. And we also did saw some great routines in junior all-girl elite.
Yeah.
And one of them was from Finland.
Yeah.
I mean, our very own PCT Lightnings that actually won.
Yeah.
That was really something.
Yeah.
But that whole division there was such skill.
Yeah.
Also, like White Queen's Incredible from Norway.
Yeah, they were crazy.
And GCO Bobcats from Sweden.
Yeah. Yeah. It was incredible. Incredible. But it was like, it was so, I think, almost refreshing to see, because none of the Nordic teams, or like elite and premier teams, have usually had their routines this ready on the season. But because first time in a long time we had the Nordics, and teams were really hyping on the Nordics, and we took it as our pre-worlds, pre-Europeans, the difficulty was there, so it was crazy to see how ready the routines are.
Oh, I'm waiting to see those routines in Europeans.
Yeah.
That are like 5 months away.
Yeah.
Oh no, 4. Any case.
Yeah. Like, I'm out of words. I don't know how, because...
Yeah, I feel like I'm especially out of, like, English.
Yeah, out of
words.
English as well. Yeah. I'm just trying to watch my notes, because it's really hard to concentrate. I'm trying my best. Oh yeah, so we talked about PCT Lightnings, and then... Oh yeah, we have actually some honorable mentions, some routines that really sticked out.
Yeah, just few. I actually wrote this down to my memo, the highlight from senior level 3, senior median, team GC Troops Black Ops from Sweden.
Yeah.
If this routine is somewhere, then you have to go see it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It was so clean, so mikä on yhdenaikainen?
So in sync, synchronized.
So in sync, yeah.
And to give a perspective, in Finland, I think the lower level senior teams are...
They don't look like that.
They don't look like that. And it's just like, in Finland, we have difficulty having enough older athletes attending the division. So our divisions are a bit smaller. The teams are...
Yeah, our senior divisions.
Yeah.
They are quite small.
Yeah. So... we're not used to seeing that type of difficulty.
Oh, and then again, we have a lot of youth teams.
Yeah.
Which I think also shows in our, how did our 2 youth advanced teams did?
Yeah.
They won
Nordic
the competitions.
champions and silver medalists.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
because
us
we
well
have
as youth median first place.
Youth median first place, and then there was also actually...
There was
youth intermediate, there was also a medalist.
Medalist, yeah. And youth median, there was actually 2 Finnish teams. Youth Extreme and ACA Ice Angels.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But to put it in short words, we have a lot of youth teams, and we're used to having crazy difficulty in youth divisions.
Yeah, not so much in seniors in other divisions than Premier.
Yeah.
But any case, so we thought there was great attendance in all the levels, all the divisions from all the countries.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice competition to watch.
Yeah.
Because there was so many good routines. And then you could also see all the different levels.
Yeah, yeah. And, when this big competition comes out of nowhere, all of a sudden we have Nordics that we're not used to. I think I had 0 expectations on how the competition is actually held and how many teams there are, and all of the things. So it was a pleasant surprise that the competition was organized well. There was a lot of spectators, Like, yeah, in some divisions there was a fewer teams, but in general the divisions were quite big. And I think now that we've had the first Nordics in a long time, and the second ones are held in Finland next year,
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited, and I will tell you, there will be lots of Finnish teams attending. I can I know it already. So I don't know how big the competition is going to be next year. Now that you've all seen what's happening, and maybe some teams did not attend the first time, but then saw how amazing the competition is, and now are feeling that, we have to attend the next time. So I can only assume that the competition is going to be bigger year after year.
Yeah. It's so cool that we have the Nordics back.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have something?
I'm just trying to remember, once again, speaking English, trying to clear your thoughts is kind of hard. Well, yeah.
True.
I think, and actually talking about next year, when they're held in Turku, Finland, Suomi, I think, if I'm correct, some divisions are actually like cut out from next year.
Yeah, I recall seeing that kind of.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe youth intermediate, or I'm not sure.
Some lower levels.
Some lower levels are cut out, I think. Well,
but then there were additions. Then I think there were pom doubles are added.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I can just like only imagine the size of the competition next year, like, because there was a lot of Finnish teams this year, but not that many. Or like I could have easily thought there could have been like 10 or over more. Like, now that we had...
There were quite a lot, but for example, none of the co-ed teams went.
Yeah, none of the co-ed teams. And then we, in our local Premier, we had 2 teams, but the division is bigger. None of senior co-ed teams did attend. None of the junior co-ed teams attended and stuff like that. So there's a lot to see. And I think now that they have debuted Nordic Championships, and now coaches are starting to think about the season maybe differently. So I think there's going to be lots of, really talented teams adding into the competition. True. Because, of course, this is a huge advantage to attend the Nordics, because essentially if you're competing in your own country's nationals and maybe in Europeans, you're going to have potentially 2 days more of competition experience in front of a big crowd on international competition with your...
competing with the other countries' teams also.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking how amazing it would be if we would somehow get like... Well, it would be crazy big divisions if we would get like almost all the teams in all the champion divisions.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
And a quick thought, I think I just said this out loud on the trip or something like that. I was like wondering that, like, why are the countries choosing the specific cities for the competition? Because like Helsingborg is so like far away from Stockholm.
Well, I actually thought that maybe Helsingborg was because it's easier for Denmark to go.
Yeah.
And maybe it was, well, it's not easier for Finnish people.
Yeah.
I think maybe Stockholm would be for us. Yeah. But I think we chose Turku because Turku is, when we're looking at the Finnish map, Turku is closest to all of our
yeah, that's true.
Like Nordic buddies.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, fun fact, when we went to the registration, we talked with the employee working there, and then she was like, oh, how did your trip go, and how did you travel and stuff like that, and then we just said that, we had maybe 1 hour flight and a 1 hour bus journey, and then she was like, oh, I live in Sweden and I drove 8 hours here. Yeah. so maybe in some cases we even had like
maybe it was
travel.
Actually quite quick.
Yeah, maybe so it was quite quick. But yeah, I'm just so excited that the Nordics are
I
back.
wonder who is going to be hosting the competition next.
Niin, yeah.
Maybe it's gonna be. Is it gonna be Denmark or Norway?
Yeah.
Oh, if it's Norway, I'd like for it to be on Oslofjord Convention
Yeah.
Center again.
Yeah, yeah.
I
nice.
loved that place when we were at Europeans.
And actually, I'm just like having these thoughts coming from somewhere. Did you hear on day one they talked about, you know, on which countries, like about the live stream, that, you know, which countries have the most like viewers on the stream.
Oh,
And
I did
then-
not hear that.
Yeah, and then it was like at that time like Finland was at first place, you know,
Woo.
Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, but the US was like maybe the fifth most. They had like fifth
Oh,
most
so
listeners.
US was watching.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I mean that maybe gives a little bit of perspective that, you know, the
So
Americans are
cool.
watching. They are watching us because they know that a lot
We
of
are
the athletes,
coming.
yeah, and a lot of the athletes are in worlds. Maybe like some of the teams are competing
in
that
worlds.
very routine on worlds. So
Crazy.
it's crazy, but I think
Our little Nordics.
our little Nordics, yeah. But I think it's good to give them a little pressure as well, because they have underestimated us. Maybe but not that much like nowadays, but they maybe underestimate us, and now they see how amazingly talented teams we have in Nordic countries.
Yeah, true.
So we are
Just-
sending shivers to their spines.
Yeah. Just take the like all girl premiere last year.
yeah.
There was USA, Sweden, Finland, and I think Norway was up there too.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah,
I don't know if we have anything like smart Nordics related to say
yeah, because
anymore.
we don't have that much to analyze at this moment. I think
Yeah.
maybe if we're gonna do ICU Worlds episode in English, I think then we have maybe a bit more to talk about. We love to analyze and we love to talk, but stating the fact that this is our first English episode and
Yeah.
Nordics were quite different experience for us both. We don't have that much to analyze at this very moment, but if this is the first time that you're listening to Hit Podcast, if you're our Finnish listener or international listener, stay tuned for more. We are gonna be recording more English episodes. Unfortunately, not as many times as Finnish episodes, because we love to produce Finnish episodes.
Yeah.
But we're trying hard to produce maybe like one English episode a month, maybe. We're gonna update you when we know for a
And
fact.
if you're our international listener, tell us what would you like to hear.
Yeah,
We don't know about what to talk. I feel like we've talked about almost like everything in Finnish.
yeah,
So now we don't know what would you like to hear in
yeah.
English.
And if you have the opportunity to visit Finland, and you would maybe love to visit our podcast,
Ooh, be a guest.
and be our guest, you can also send us a message. We have a lot of Finnish guests, but it would be amazing to have our first like international guest
Yes.
sitting here with us. So
Yes.
send a message if you're interested, and stay tuned.
Slide to our DM.
Yeah, yes, you know where to head. But thank you for listening.
Thank
Kiitos
you.
myös suomalaisille kuuntelijoille.
Thanks for making it all the way here,
Yeah,
listening our not so professional English.
leave a review, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.